Did you mean to stab Rebecca in the arm?
Yes.
It wasn't a mistake?
No.
Were you angry?
Yes.
Are you still angry?
I'm always angry.
Well, why do you think that is?
Because.
Are you sorry?
No.
Was it an accident?
No. She was being a pain, so I picked up my pencil and stabbed her.
Amy, you understand, I can't help you unless you talk.
I don't want your help.
Mrs. Dixon is planning on suspending you. That will be your second suspension in 2 months. It's not going to look good on your record. If you can show me some
Somewhat.
some sign that it was a mistake, or that you're sorry.
I don't think you're listening to me, Mr. J. It wasn't a mistake. I'm not sorry, and Mrs. Dixon can go jump.
Amy, you have so many great gifts and opportunities, and I would hate to see you throw those away.
I don't want a pep talk.
Well, it's not a pep talk, it's the truth.
I've had it all before. Make good decisions, take the right path. I don't exactly want to chat.
Can I ask you why you came into my office if you don't want to talk?
My other option was sitting with Miss Caldo, and she hates me.
He is casual in his approach to education, allowing students to call him by his first name and eating with them cross-legged in the courtyards.
I hardly think sitting cross-legged in a courtyard is cause for an official complaint.
What precedent does that set for the other teachers?
That they should engage with their students.
No, we engage in a professional manner that doesn't undermine our authority as teachers.
I'm not asking you to follow Xavier's methods. You're welcome to continue your own effective method of fear and intimidation.
Well, it works.
It does. You're an outstanding teacher, and I appreciate what you bring. But Mr. Johnson is also an outstanding teacher. He's not wired in the way that you're wired. He handles situations differently, and I appreciate having both of you on staff.
You don't genuinely believe he's outstanding?
I do. And unless you have something concrete to complain about, I'd ask you to be civil towards each other. This school has a reputation of excellence, Beverly, and has done for 33 years. And that's because of teachers like yourself, and because of teachers like Mr. Johnson, and teachers like Samuel and John, and board members such as Darren and Heather, and cleaners like David and Gavin.
The cleaners?
Unless you have something else, Miss Caldo, I thank you for your time.
There is something else.
Enjoy basketball, James! Good afternoon, ladies.
How can The Who not be in your top 70s list?
I'm free might make it into top 20, but not top 10.
What about Behind Blue Eyes?
Never sat well with me.
Tina Turner's simply the best.
That's not even 70s.
Are you sure?
Positive, that might even be 90s.
Late 80s.
Still, it was good, so it's on my list.
You can't put an 80s song in a quintessential 70s list.
It's my list.
Yes, but it's a 70s list.
Well, I'm making my list 70s/80s.
Another day done?
Wait, if we're including the 80s, then the Who aren't on my list at all.
You're kidding. Nothing from Quadrophenia?
Was my generation on that?
My generation was 60s.
Then I'm including 60s as well.
So you've just added 20 years to a 1-decade list.
Do any of you need to see Dixon tomorrow?
Xavier, what's your top 10 70 songs?
70s/80s.
Like Fleetwood Mac, so they'd be in there, I guess.
Of course you like Fleetwood Mac.
Were they 70s?
Well, 70s, but not top 10 worthy.
No, we need songs. You can't have bands.
Did any of you get a letter from Susan?
Oh my goodness. Leonard Skinner's Sweet Home Alabama.
Yes.
Has to be on the list.
Yes.
Xavier.
Hey?
Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah, no, it's good.
All right, so we can lock one in.
looking at it isn't going to help.
Why would she send me a letter, Liz? What an email or a call? It's a letter, that means it's important.
Why does important have to be bad?
Well, I never said it was bad.
You're acting like it's bad.
Well, because it could be. Dear Mr. Johnson, thank you for your time serving us here at Castlereagh College. Whilst we appreciate your service over the years, the college is transitioning through a season of change. You stink, the other teachers don't like you, and your services will no longer be required.
Doesn't say that.
No, but that's what Dixon's going to say tomorrow.
What goes on in your head?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to say. Or do. What if I don't have a job tomorrow?
Mr. Johnson, I've invited you into my office to let you know just how much you appreciate at Castlereagh College. Not only do you set a good example for the students, but for your fellow teachers. I'd like to offer you a raise with additional benefits and an extra 3 weeks off each year.
That's ridiculous.
No, you're being ridiculous.
I could be doing a better job. But kids are tough. They don't want to talk. They don't want my help. Maybe I'm too old.
Stop.
Could be bad is all I'm saying.
And it could be good is all I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay?
Yuck! Emily has nits! No, I don't. Stay away from Emily, she has nits!
Forgive me, I just need to finish this. And done.
How are you, Susan? You good?
You always ask.
I like to know.
I'm well, thank you. And you?
A little bit nervous, to be honest.
I'd best get straight to it. It's been alleged that you've been verbally abusing and in one case assaulted Michael Ridley.
What?
He's confirmed the allegation, which originally came from a staff member.
Who?
I don't think it's in your best interest to disclose that information at this point in time.
Wait, Michael confirmed it.
Yes, and his parents are coming in this afternoon.
What did I supposedly do and when?
He says that during one of your counselling sessions, you became agitated when he was reluctant to talk. As he was using a device at the time, you grabbed his device and scratched his face.
Susan, you know I'd never do that.
Xavier, you've clearly been under a lot of stress lately.
Well, so are you. Nobody suggests that you take your stress out by harming students.
I've been following up this complaint in the same manner that I've followed up hundreds of complaints over the years. I appreciate you, but you're not a special case. You're relieved of your teaching duties for today. Please be back in my office this afternoon at 4:15.
Slacker.
I've been excused from my classes for the afternoon.
That sucks.
Yep. How you going, alright?
I'm fine. Ramiro.
What would you like?
A Spanish hot chocolate, please.
In here, you know what we call a Spanish hot chocolate.
A hot chocolate, I know.
A hot chocolate. If you'd like something else, you ask for an Australian hot chocolate.
I'll remember that for next time.
You say that every time.
He kills me.
I thought you had year 8s Friday mornings.
I did something a bit naughty.
It's unlike you.
This kid has been in my care all week for placement.
Craig.
Yeah. Have you met him?
Oh, we had a chat when he first arrived.
Did you counsel him?
No, I just like to meet the new faces.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure he'll never be a permanent new face. He's pretty crap.
Well, he's learning.
He's got a lot to learn. Anyway, newbie's in charge of my year 8s.
Can he handle that?
Nope.
You're not there to supervise.
Lizzie told me about the letter. She rang me straight after she got off the phone with you.
So, my wife sent you to check up on me.
She's a keeper.
Yeah, she really is.
Are you just going to sulk? And drink coffee all day? Get totally wired on caffeine and then go into your meeting this afternoon all anxious and jumpy?
No, I have 3 mental health reports that need completing.
You've been given the day off. Do something fun.
Sarah, they're important. The sooner I get them done, the sooner their parents and GPs find out.
1 hot chocolate?
Thank you, Ramiro. Yes?
Try it.
That is heaven. I'm gonna get fat if I come in here more than once a week.
You're welcome to come in every day.
What?
Nothing.
What are you doing? Just making a bracelet. That's so pretty. Really? Yeah. Can I have it? I was making it for someone else. Who? One of your friends? It is one of my friends. Who? I'm not saying. I bet it's her mum. It is. Isn't it? It's your mum! So? That's so embarrassing. Leave me alone. Give it to me. I'll be your friend. You're not nice to me. Give me a present and maybe I will be. I don't want to give it to you. She's going to cry. No, I'm not. You don't have to sit by yourself, you know. You can actually sit with us. Please, leave me alone. That really is a nice bracelet. Maybe if you gave it to me as like a peace offering, we could be real friends. You promise not to be mean to me anymore? Promise. And I'm sorry we made you cry on the bus. I was just having a joke. I do have other beads, so I can make another one for Mum. Perfect. So you give me that one, and we can be friends? I do have other colours. You're so stupid. As if I'd be your friend. Now she is crying. And I'm keeping this stupid bracelet.
They're horrible.
Year 8 aren't horrible, but they're hard work.
Little buggers are, Craig.
What did you teach them? Raphael's fresco, the School of Athens.
Well, we didn't talk much about Raphael, but yeah, frescoes.
But you told them about the School of Athens.
Not really.
Well, not really. You mean not at all, mate?
It's important.
Well, they're in year 8, and to be honest, I didn't totally get it all myself.
Craig?
The lesson was frescoes.
Yes, but you had a powerful example of what a fresco can convey.
What's so great about the College of Athens?
School.
The College of Schools.
The School of Athens.
Whatever. What's so great about it?
Come by my art rooms and I'll show you.
Yeah, no thanks. I'll stick to PE.
Your loss.
Now, you got thrown in the deep end, mate. But I reckon you did okay.
Okay, considering I was on by myself, I'd say I did great.
You just gotta let them know, nice and early, who's boss.
Well, it's a bit hard when you're new, you don't know anyone's name and you're on by yourself.
You were on your own in class?
Yeah,
I thought you were under the guidance of Miss Bentley.
I am, but she just had to duck out.
And where did you need to duck out to during class, Miss Bentley?
Oh, I would love to tell you, Beverly, but unfortunately it's none of your business.
This school is my business.
Not my classroom, and not my time. Why don't you make an official complaint to Susan? Can you do that twice in 1 week?
I would very much like to see second-rate teachers such as yourself out of this school, and I will make as many complaints necessary to see that done.
Well, it's been delightful chatting with you. Craig, if you stay in one school too long, this is what happens to you. You've been warned. Ladies, gentlemen, Bev. See you all soon.
Thank you all for attending this afternoon. Imagine that's the last place you wish to be, but I've called this meeting to discuss the allegations that Michael has raised that Mr. Johnson has abused him verbally on several occasions and in one instance physically abused him. Is this correct, Michael?
Yeah.
Would you like to start by filling us all in?
Okay, so I've been to Mr. J a few times for counselling sessions, and I was kind of hoping he could help me change my attitude, because I struggle with schoolwork sometimes because I've got ADHD. But Mr. J's tried to talk to me about that and some other stuff that I didn't really want to talk about. And when I didn't respond, he said that I was lazy. and he says that I'm no good and that I'll probably amount to nothing, which I reckon's pretty slack, because he's supposed to encourage me and stuff.
This isn't the sort of behaviour you expect from teachers at this school.
Please let your son finish, Mrs. Ridley.
Yeah, so I guess all that made me pretty mad at Mr. J, and then a few times he's sworn at me and stuff when I didn't respond. Then last Thursday I was working on some pretty important stuff on my phone, and Mr. J kept interrupting me. But I used my manners and stuff and asked him to leave me alone, but he didn't. And then he kind of grabbed my phone and scratched my face as I did it. So, yeah, that was really upsetting.
Would you like to say anything, Mr. Johnson?
I would, yes. Michael, I don't know why you're bringing these allegations against me.
They're not allegations, they're facts, Mr. Johnson.
Please give Mr. Johnson a chance to respond, Mrs. Ridley.
Mate, I honestly believe you're a good kid. And I know ADHD can be difficult, but I also know you've handled it really well at times. You're a talented athlete, you have great leadership abilities, and many of your peers look up to you. Now, I'm always going to encourage you to lead yourself and lead others well. And sometimes that will require a call to action. Mr. and Mrs. Ridley, I've never called your son lazy, but we have discussed the consequences of laziness. I've never sworn at your son. It's not in my nature to swear at young people.
He says you did.
I know.
So, you're calling my boy a liar?
I'm not calling him a liar, but I am disagreeing with him.
Well, I disagree with you.
I understand. I would always stand by my little girl in the same way I respect you sitting by your son. In regards to the physical abuse, all I can say is that it never happened. In my most heated moment, I've slammed my own hand down on a desk, resulting in a sprained wrist. Never, not once, have I assaulted one of the students, and never, not once, have I assaulted your son.
My son doesn't lie, Mrs. Dixon.
You can choose to believe this piece of filth or my son.
Thank you both for bringing your perspectives. In a situation such as this, when two parties hold significantly different accounts of any given situation, I take it upon myself to investigate.
Investigate?
Laurie, please come in. Would you please inform us of all the events of last Thursday?
In period 3 last Thursday, I was helping Mr. Mayfield in class, and Michael was on his phone and wasn't listening to Mr. Mayfield. So Mr. Mayfield asked me to collect his phone. He didn't give it to me straight away, but he handed it over, and Mr. Mayfield said he could collect it after class. If I ever confiscate something during the day, then pick-up is outside the hall at 3:15.
And is that when Michael received his phone back?
Yes.
So Michael, you didn't have your phone in period 5 last Thursday, so Mr. Johnson couldn't have taken it from you.
Maybe it wasn't my phone.
Why the hell would you lie about something like that?
No offence to Laurie, but you take his word for it?
And why not, Mrs. Ridley? I'll remind everyone here that it is a very serious offence to bring false allegations against any member of the school community, and it will not be tolerated. Ridley family, you're excused.
So that's it?
Be thankful that there is no further action, Mrs. Ridley.
You're a troublemaker, mate. I'll teach you to be so stupid when we get home.
Bloody friends he's been around.
You had nothing to worry about all along.
No. But, in fairness, unless Susan had spoken with Laurie, the outcome would have been, well, pretty bad.
Well, lucky she spoke with Laurie, and lucky I get my less stressed husband back for a while.
A while?
You always have something to worry about. It's the burden of trying to change the world.
Well, I don't feel like I'm making much of a difference at the moment.
You make a difference to me, Daddy.
That's nice of you to say. What is it?
Nothing, I just love you.
What's wrong, sweetheart?
And what's going on?
Abby did some things that weren't very nice to me. Promise you won't tell Mrs. Baker if I tell you what she did?
What did Abby do?
You need to promise.
I can't do that until I know what she did. Mr. and Mrs. Crichton, I'm Xavier Johnson, the school counsellor.
We know who you are.
How's Laurie?
Fractured cheekbone, broken jaw, couple of cracked ribs.
I'm so sorry.
Are you sorry?
I am. Yeah, Laurie's a good kid. He doesn't deserve this.
Susan Dixon informed me that our son helped you out today, Mr. Johnson.
He did, yeah. Michael put forward some allegations and...
And Laurie had your back, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
So where were you when our son needed your help?
What happened was outside of school hours and off school property.
So you're not paid for that time, so it's not your place to help outside of school hours, is that right?
This has nothing to do with pay. I'm not paid to be here now. I'm here because I care.
Care about what? About what happens to you? About filling in some paperwork? Care about, smoothing things over with the family?
I care for Laurie. I'm here to see him. Mr. Crichton, this isn't my fault.
Don't you raise your voice at my husband.
Is everything okay?
Everything's fine.
I just need to ask that you keep the volume down.
Laurie looks up to you, Xavier. He thinks you're something really special. When you tell him things like God has a plan and a future for him, he believes you. When you tell him not to be afraid of kids like Michael, he believes you. And when you tell him to be brave and stand up for himself, well, he believes that's what he should do.
I never suggested he should fight anyone.
He was attacked by that child because of you. Because he stood up for you.
I'm really sorry. I don't know what to say.
Don't say anything. Just get out.
Thanks. What are you doing, Michael?
What does it look like I'm doing?
Why did you hurt Laurie?
Because he's a retard.
Tell me what happened.
Laurie got off the bus. I decided to follow him. Called you a couple names and he thought it was a good idea to correct me. So I put him in his place.
You're throwing your life away.
You here to save me, Mr. Johnson?
This is going on your permanent record. You know that, right?
Doesn't bother me.
Michael, I know you're better than this.
Here we go.
Here we go what?
You're going to change my life. Point me in the right direction. You're right, I had no idea bashing that retard's face in was the wrong thing to do. Thanks for showing more our stuff up, sir. You know what, I could have really messed up. The good thing you came into my life and made everything better.
Successful or not, at least I'm trying to make a difference.
You're successful, Mr. J. Hell yeah, you're successful. Mrs. Caldo can't stand coming to work because of you. Amy got suspended again because you couldn't keep her on track. And half the teachers think you're a try-hard tosser. Tell me if I'm wrong, but your kid's competent at school, am I right?
Okay, mate, you've said...
No, let me finish. I'm trying to speak truth to you, Mr. J.
You're a dropout, Michael, you know that? Get used to this place. You're going to be spending a lot of time here.
I'd argue I'm in here because of you. I'd argue that Laurie's also messed up because of... you.
You're an angry kid.
Yeah, I am. That's the difference you make. I was fine before you came in here tonight. Now I'm mad. Because that's the difference you make. You make everyone's lives worse.
Good night, Michael.
You still awake?
Yeah.
help everyone.
No. Just seem to make everything worse.
Get some sleep. You'll feel better in the morning.
How's Em?
I promised her we wouldn't say anything to Miss Baker. See how she handles it first.
Can't even help my girl.
Just give her a chance to figure this one out on her own.
When I was 10 years old, I wanted to be a ballerina. My dad would take me to lessons every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon, and I went to a special 3-hour practice every second Saturday. One day, my grandma takes me to see a real show. I get to watch a very famous man by the name of Lee Kutsin. What I wasn't expecting was to be blown away by his partner on stage, Vicky Attard. Vicky was an amazing ballerina. She is someone who I admire. We all have someone who we admire. It might be someone who you watch play sports, or a favourite author, or even a family member. Your task this morning is to design a poster about someone you admire. You can use pictures or drawings and sentences that say, I admire this person because. Because why? Because they're kind? Because they're clever? That's up to you. We'll present our posters in class tomorrow, so you have time to work on them tonight if you don't finish them in class.
Morning.
Morning.
Rough weekend?
You mean Michael and Laurie? How'd you find out about it? Rumour mill or Liz?
Both.
Yeah, rough weekend.
Can I tear you away from your work for a second?
Did you read about the redundancies?
Yep. I hope Beverly puts her hand up.
Yeah.
Xavier Johnson, can I have your attention for a moment, please?
Sure. Sorry. What's up?
This is what I was talking to you about yesterday.
Sarah, I don't have time.
Trust me, it's worth making time for.
No, thank you.
It'll take 2 seconds. Lo and behold, Raphael's School of Athens.
I'm sure this is going to be wonderful, but perhaps another day.
What do you see?
Raphael's School of Athens.
Yes, let's go for details.
I see a bunch of people talking, reading, writing, some archways, a statue, and a couple of blokes in the middle.
Those blokes are Plato and Aristotle.
Well, Plato has a pretty decent beard.
Yeah, that beard is way too long.
So you prefer the clean-shaven guy down the left?
She's a girl, Hypatia. A pretty remarkable woman, but not part of today's lesson.
This has to be a short lesson.
Where is Plato pointing?
Up.
Up, yes, to all that is unseen. Just because we can't see it or feel it doesn't mean that it's not there or not happening. Where is Aristotle pointing?
Forwards.
That's right, forwards or outwards, to all that is tangible. We need to see it, feel it, taste it, touch it.
Okay.
You, Xavier Johnson, are stuck in the ways of Aristotle.
I'm sorry, Sarah, you have to explain. I can't follow.
If you can't see it, then it's not happening. You want physical results.
Regarding what?
Work, life, the imprint or impact you have.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing, so long as you balance it out with old maid Plato.
The invisible.
The unseen. The impact that leaves no physical evidence. The imprint that you can't touch.
Sounds like a cop-out.
I'm trying to help.
Help with what?
Help you! Get out of this funk!
Yeah, well, you're going to have to rely on the unseen impacts you made here this morning, Sarah. I got to get back to this.
Xavier!
What?
It's not like you to be so damn rude.
Mr. Johnson?
Bev?
I heard about the incident with Michael and Laurie.
Who hasn't?
May I make you a cup of tea?
No, I'm good, thanks.
You look like you need a tea.
Yeah, coffee would be great, thanks.
How was Michael when you saw him?
Angry, rude. He's a real jerk, to be honest.
That's Michael.
Yeah, I really thought he was better than that.
Yes, we all did. Some people just don't change. I mean, surely you've seen that in all your years of counselling. Would you like milk?
No, black with one, thanks.
He's a funny one.
Michael?
Yeah. The more he's encouraged to step up, the further back he goes.
Yeah, but how will you ever know he'll reach his full potential unless someone calls it out?
Maybe it doesn't need to be called out. Perhaps it would just develop naturally as it does with most young boys.
Yeah, well, you do what you can, you know?
Yes. But did it help?
Well, how do you mean?
Well, with all your encouragement, maybe it was that very pressure that caused him to rebel.
You're saying this is my fault?
No, of course not. I mean, it's all our faults. You can't pinpoint a single person or a time the cause of his outburst. But I think it's fair to say that you're a player in his story.
Yeah.
And Laurie, poor boy. How was he?
I didn't see him.
I heard his parents weren't happy with your visit.
That's an understatement.
They were angry.
Yeah.
At Michael.
Yeah, come on, Bev, of course. If someone put your kid in hospital.
But also angry at you.
Yeah.
It's no secret that we seldom see eye to eye, Xavier. Our approaches to education and welfare couldn't be more different. But there are merits in your approach. You've helped a few children in your time. But the majority, Xavier, they just need to get through the system. You know, when you try and take someone and mould them to something that they're not.
I don't mould anyone.
Whatever the language is that you use. Call out their potential, mould them, it's much the same thing. When you try and make someone something that they're not, then you'll cause that somebody to rebel. What happened to Laurie is a perfect example. You've run a good race, Xavier. There's no shame in walking away. Take one of the redundancies. There's enough in that to look after your family while you search for something else. Maybe not in counselling. Think about it.
Thanks, Bev.
Matthew. It's Lizzie Johnson.
See you, Mr. J. See you tonight. Xavier. Earth to Xavier Johnson.
Sorry, I spaced out.
I'll see you tonight.
What's tonight?
Tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. See you then.
Emily, Dad's gonna be home soon. How are you getting along?
Almost done. Do you think he's going to like it?
He's gonna love it.
And Matt's coming.
That's right.
Can he sign something for me?
I'm sure he won't mind. Now come on, try to finish off your post before we leave.
Hey, what's the rush? What did I miss?
She's getting ready.
What for?
Dinner?
I don't feel like going out.
Too late. Restaurant's already booked.
Liz, I just walked in the door. I'm not in the mood.
Oh, Ramiro's doing dinners and we're going to go support him.
Let's go tomorrow.
We're going tonight.
It's not been a great day.
Dad, we're going.
How can you argue with that?
What time?
We leave in about 20 minutes.
Okay, well, I was hoping we could talk.
Uh-oh. Frowning serious, Mr. Johnson.
Liz, I didn't know we're going out for dinner, and I need to tell you before you hear from someone else.
This doesn't sound good.
I'm volunteering for one of the redundancies. Liz?
Just don't say anything. Just let me digest this. You're telling me this?
Yes.
Not asking.
We're discussing it.
But you're telling me this before I find out from someone else, so you're resolved already.
Well, it'll be a great package and I'll have plenty of time to find work.
And what will you do?
I don't know.
Not counselling.
Absolutely not.
Even though you love what you do.
The pay's not great.
Since when do you care about the pay? You didn't spend the last 20 years of your life as a social worker for financial security. God knows it's not why I paint.
Well, maybe it's time we grow up a little.
You're in a bad mood and you've had a bad Monday. We're not discussing this now.
Just think about it.
Okay. I'm not closed off to the idea. But for now, I'd like to take my family out for dinner and we're going to enjoy ourselves. We'll sleep on it and discuss it in the morning. Deal?
Deal.
It's not every day we have a celebrity.
I'm not a celebrity.
Sure you are.
Looks and smells delicious.
But dinner isn't normal, okay? You come for breakfast and lunch.
Breakfast and lunch. Got it.
Thanks so much for doing this, Amira. It's really nice of you.
I hope it goes well, huh?
I hope we're not too late.
Not too late for this hot
Emily!
Thank you, Miro.
How's it going, Tiny Tot?
I'm not tiny, I'm 9.
Almost double digits.
Matthew, it's nice to see you.
You too, Mr. J.
Come on, what is this?
Dinner.
Thank you, Ramiro, but given that you're clearly not open to the general public and I'm not aware of any birthdays, what is this?
You've had a rough start to the week, so this is time out to relax.
Is this an intervention?
What's an intervention?
You're kidding me.
You should start eating before it gets cold.
We care about you.
This is deceitful.
It's not deceitful.
Thanks, Sarah, but I was talking to my wife.
Xavier?
This isn't family dinner.
No, you're right, it's not. And you're not yourself. But we're here all the same. Sarah's with us. Ramiro opened up his cafe for us and Matthew's here. So
we're going to enjoy ourselves.
Awkward.
Look, I appreciate you all. I really do. And you're right, this hasn't been the best last few days or even little while, but this isn't necessary. I'm not thinking of doing anything stupid.
Yes, you are.
What?
He's thinking of taking one of those redundancies.
You're not.
What's wrong with that?
You love your job.
I loved my job.
What's changed? Michael? Don't blame yourself for that kid.
It's not just Michael. It's Amy, it's Laurie, it's Caldo. It's several people that I seem to be having a negative impact on that concerns me.
That's what you see.
Stop with your Michelangelo painting.
Raphael, and it's a fresco.
Can I say something, Mr. J?
Sure, mate.
I've really enjoyed the last few years, playing footy for a town that I love, and touring. And seeing some of your faces in the stands on the odd occasions when you make it to the games. I love doing what I do on the field, but I also really enjoy the off-field stuff too. I don't know if you've heard, but I've encouraged some of the other boys to come and give me a hand on a Wednesday afternoon, running a 1-hour training program in the city. Get a group of kids from the local housing commission. We do 40 minutes of ball work and 20 minutes a game. And then afterwards we invite the boys to hang around for what we call our character building program, where we talk about who we are away from our gifts. Like, I'm still Matthew away from football. And we explore stuff like, who is Matthew? And it allows me to talk about who I am, you know? We also talk about choices. And the different paths, different choices can lead us down. So, we've been running the program for about 12 months now. And the amount of kids that are coming down, it's getting out of hand, you know? But seriously, the amount of kids that we've seen turn corners, even when we thought they were beyond help.
Matt, we're happy for you, mate. We really are. I mean, truly, to be doing what you're doing and stay so grounded as a young bloke, it's impressive. And I know about the charity work. There's been some write-ups in the local paper, and I think the Footy Show ran something on it, but forgive me for saying, I can't see how this is helping. I mean, you've gone off to be a great success, and I'm stuck doing the same thing, making zero difference.
Dad, you're being rude.
I'm sorry. Matt. Everyone. I'm sorry. It's just all too much at the moment, and I'm not coping very well. I am being rude. I apologise.
Keep going, man.
I've always been pretty good at sport, Mr. J. And everyone knew it. And a lot of people cared about what I could bring to a team or a squad or a party or whatever. But I didn't always feel like people cared too much about me, you know? It was always like, what are you doing on Friday? Or, can you show me how to train for that? But no one ever actually asked me how I was. Not even my parents. That was pretty tough, you know? I remember after the Year 10 swimming carnival, I was feeling pretty low. And a few of the other guys were going out that arvo, but I wasn't too keen. So I was just kind of heading home. And I was walking back past the school, and that's when you came out and you said good day.
Yeah, I remember. You left your swimmers on under your school pants and it looked like you wet yourself.
I'm not saying I was depressed or anything. I don't think I ever would have hurt myself or anything like that. But my head wasn't in a good space, you know? And you spoke to me about the pressures of performing. And how I didn't have to live up to anyone's expectations. he told me that who I was far more important than what I do. And to hear that meant a lot. To know that someone actually cared about who I was and not just how fast I could run or swim. And that's when you invited me to your sessions, remember?
I do. Came every second Thursday.
I really look forward to our sessions, you know. My parents wanted me to succeed at sport. You wanted me to succeed at life. And that's what's kind of kept me going, you know. And that's what gave me the idea for the program in the city. Anyway, what I'm getting at here is this really isn't my success story. It's kind of yours.
Xavier.
Sarah, if you mentioned Plato, I swear.
Just wanted to make sure you didn't miss a symbolism.
And you know what? Even if you hadn't played a part in that story, look right in front of you. You make a difference to me, and you're an inspiration to your daughter.
Mum wanted me to show you this. Mrs. Baker said we had to make a poster about someone we admire. I chose Abby.
Abby? Why?
Because I want to speak life and truth into her like you do to the kids at school. I think Abby is a really nice girl on the inside, and I'm going to call that out.
Now, where did she get that from?
All I'm saying is they're not the same.
But you can still get them.
You can't. If they're not the same, you can't still get them. You're getting something different.
Okay, are they still called Sherbies?
Yes.
And the packaging is the same?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can still get them.
Told ya.
No, they taste different and the texture is different.
Is this how you prepare for a day of education?
It's history, Bev.
And Craig, social media is banned on site.
I was just...
I saw over your shoulder before. Teachers lead by example.
Sorry.
Morning.
There.
How you finding it all, Craig?
Oh, not bad.
Not bad. Kids a bit rough on you?
Oh, they're just restless, you know. It's just hard to keep their attention.
I use a whistle.
Yeah.
No, Bev's serious. She actually uses a whistle.
Yeah, right. Well, I've got to go get ready.
Enjoy the experience. It gets better.
Thanks.
Beverly?
Xavier,
I know you were trying to help yesterday.
you handled it very maturely. I applaud you. So when do you think you'll inform Susan?
I won't.
Well, understandably, denial is going to form a part.
I'm not leaving the school. I was having a significant low yesterday. I'm going to hang around and keep doing what I do. Sometimes it'll work and sometimes it won't.
Xavier, think of Michael and Laurie.
Yeah, Michael's a big kid and he makes his own decisions. And yeah, I feel pretty rotten about Laurie, but I'm going to meet with his parents this afternoon and we're going to try and move forward.
You are such an idealist.
A little bit, yeah. I guess that's why we balance each other out.
I feel like you're making a significant mistake.
Time will tell, Bev. Hope you have a good day.
Good morning, class and Mrs. Baker. I'd like to tell you about the person I admire. It's a person all of you know. In fact, she's in the room with us right now. Her name is Abby Peterson. My choice of Abby may surprise some of you. It's no secret that we don't hang out together that often and we don't always get along. But Mrs. Baker, you never said we had to get along with the person we chose.
That's true.
Here are 3 things that I admire about her. Abby has the ability to make people laugh, and I think laughter is a very good thing. There should be more laughter in the world. So Abby, if you can make people laugh, you can also make people smile. Secondly, she is very good at sports and encourages her teammates when they need it. No, she doesn't. She yells at us.
Sometimes her encouragement is in the form of yelling, but she does this so her team will try harder to win the game. I think it's important for a team to have someone who calls out a lot. It's important, right, Mrs. Baker?
Absolutely it is.
Thirdly, Abby is a great friend to Kayla. My dad says that being a friend to someone can change their world. So Abby, you can make people smile, you're good at sports, and you're a great friend to Kayla. So I admire you. Thank you, class, and Mrs. Baker.
You know, an in-school suspension isn't a bad result, considering what it could have been.
I'd rather be at home.
Well, at least you'll still receive some schoolwork, so you won't fall behind.
How is that good, Mr. J?
It's good for your brain.
My brain doesn't want to be here right now.
Unfortunately, your brain doesn't have a choice. You're here until 11:15, and then you need to see Miss Caldo.
She can't stand me.
Something tells me you can't stand her either.
I can't.
Give you a good chance to work it out.
Are you serious?
No, not really. But you do have to go see her, so best just embrace that.
So unfair.
Do you want to talk about it?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm going to get some work done. You yell out if you want to chat. I'm happy to help where I can.
I don't want to chat.
Understand.